Hey, folks, I'm excited about today's show. Have none other than a dear friend. I'm calling you a dear friend there, Gary Chapman, hit
I hope
maker,
so. I hope so.
one of the most memorable voices in the music industry. And I'd say also now in television, you know him from anywhere, is none other than the one and only Gary Chapman. How you doing, Gary?
I'm good.
We are friends, brother. We are friends. I'll never forget contacting you, and I tell you what, yep, you never know the difference that you make in people's lives, but your music has touched so many lives, man. And gosh, I mean, where do you start? I mean, almost 5 decades now, and your new stuff is better than ever. But songs like Treasure, songs like Man After Your Own Heart, the unforgettable way that you rocked it with Gospel Ship. The list goes on and on. But brother, I tell you what, I am proud to call you a friend. And the first time I talked to you, I thought, man, I hope I don't overwhelm him. But this guy has had an instrumental part in my life and ministries for almost 4 decades, for sure. Man, it's great to see your face, Gary Chapman. How are you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. I'm very good. Thank you for sincerely asking. You know, everybody just kind of says that. I know you actually mean it. First of all, God gets all the glory.
Yeah.
I'm just the guy that gets to stand in the way, but I do enjoy standing in the way. Life is so much fun for me these days, and I know it. I'm not deceived. I'm not living in denial. I know the joint's on fire. I get it. But I also know that Jesus is king. I also know that all of the division is not about left and right. It's not Republicans and Democrats. It's not any of that junk that diverts our attention away from the reality
Right.
that there is a war going on between good and evil, and we are kicking tail, and it's awesome.
Yes. Well, Gary, you've always been able to be relevant. You don't try to be relevant, you are relevant. But you're very outspoken about truth, and you're fearless when it comes to speaking your mind, saying what you mean and mean what you say. As we talked earlier, I mean, I can pick out your voice in any song, any genre, Christian or secular. But I can also identify your voice on television too with your show Turbulent Truth, which I love. You and your sidekick, you guys are so funny, but you guys really hit the issues hard. And you've been vocal this whole time during COVID. Your precious daughter, you were outspoken even to the point of writing a song about the vaccine, which now is grossly underreported. All the health problems, all the increases in
Yeah.
every kind of thing. And you
Hmm.
wrote and recorded "Take This Jab and Shove It." Hilarious. You know what, man? You're literally a voice for this age and for this time like never before. And you've got new music on the way. Let's talk about your new music, man. Tell us what's going on with your music right now.
You know, I'm as convinced as I am that we're winning this fight. Spoiler alert: you can read it. You know, it's been laying there in the Bible for us to read for thousands of years. And yes, we do win this. Um, but accompanying that, I truly believe in my heart of hearts that is there's going to be a revival like nobody has ever seen. And there's been big revivals in the world. I kind of like to study them myself. It's interesting what happens to culture when God says, "Hey, look at me," and that's about to happen on a grander scale, I believe, than ever before. And I asked God when I got that confidence that was coming. I said, God, yeah, I'm old. I'm like the most cancelable human on the planet. I'm an old white Christian guy, and I'm conservative. Uh, but I want to be in the middle of it. I want to be up to my eyeballs in that process because despite having had, thankfully, stupid success and and having everything that I ever dreamed of having at one point in my life, I'm back to being poor again. It's actually more fun. But it's despite having access to all the toys, there's nothing that's going to have more value than be able to look somebody in the face in heaven and have them say, thank you. You were a part of me getting here. That's that is treasure. That is what matters. And I want it. I want it. I want it. I'll be 65 next month. I feel 12, but I just, I'm gonna if I do live long enough to die on this planet, I'm gonna go out. I would say with my hair on fire, but that's too late. I'm gonna go out swinging, brother. I'm going to.
Well, you live your lyrics, Gary. Lyrics. Jesus is my treasure, my reason that I'm living. He'll still be the reason when I die. I can't tell you how that inspired me when I was a young man. I turned 53 yesterday, and I feel like
12.
I'm 20.
Good grief.
I feel like I'm 20, but you know what, brother? I'm having the best time of my life, and like you, these are the days we dreamed about. These are the days we read about, and I know people have felt that way in years past, but I don't think we've ever been closer than we are now to seeing even more and more prophecies being fulfilled. And your music, I'm so excited about the fact that you have always been a song receiver. You've got new music you're recording now as well. You sent me a song that you were working on and called Crazy or along those lines.
Call me crazy.
Oh man, I heard it. I was like, man, that's a hit. Oh my gosh. And such an honor to be one of the first to hear that song. But brother, the man behind the music is tried and true and real, and your beautiful family. But I'm telling you what, you have a lot to fight for. You know that God wins the battle, but you fight for your family. You fight for your precious wife, your beautiful children, and you continue to inspire me. You're doing that not only with music, but you're also doing that on television as well, on GLC and Christianity Stream and online as well. Turbulent Truth. Tell us about Turbulent Truth, man.
It started just with me and a friend talking. I've got a dear friend, a guy named Scott Kutcher. He's about that high. His mission in life for a long time was to eventually become 5 feet squared. But now he started losing weight. And I said, man, you're destroying your brand. What are you doing? No, he's an amazing guy. He's from Ohio. He's an Ohio State fan. So with all due respect, that kind of says everything.
There you go.
He's very opinionated. Yankee. He talks too fast. He's way too smart.
And he's funny.
He's hilarious. He's very, very funny. So when the two of us would just sit down and talk, we're just sitting down having coffee or something. And, we would just kind of commandeer the space around us in a restaurant. It just suddenly everybody's wanting to hear what it is and he said, we should do a podcast. And I said, yeah, I've thought about it. I don't know. There's so many of them. How do you stand out? He says, are you kidding?
Yeah. 2
white conservative guys. Name the other one that does that, And I said, okay, all right, fine, whatever, let's do it. And then, it now it's evolved, I guess, into a television show. Thanks pretty much because of you. It's your fault. And, it feels as though we've kind of struck a nerve. I think the timing is right. We're just completely unafraid to say what we believe.
Right.
I don't care. One of the beautiful things about getting old is that in the most healthy, godly way possible, you just stop giving a rip what people think. You just don't care.
Right.
I tell people that's why old guys wear black socks at the beach. It's just they don't care. So we've got that element of it, and then he's a funny guy. I think I'm a quick responder,
You're pretty funny
I'm a
too,
first.
brother.
I'm a first responder in conversation, though. I see the funny. My contention is that everybody's pretty funny, but some people do it more quickly than others, and I am quick. So the combination of those two things, and our mutual commitment to just be honest, just to tell the truth about whatever is going on, and we may be wrong, and if so, call us out. turbulenttruth@gmail.com. Bring it. And we really love the exchange with the audience, and we get some interesting letters that we won't read on the air, but that's okay. we still enjoy them, and I do believe that it is part of the voice that is going to walk us through what I'm sure are going to be turbulent times.
Right.
They are. But if you're a person of God, if you're in God's family, you're covered. You're covered. It's going to get nuts, and you are going to be fine because you're in His hand. He has promised to carry you. And if Jesus is coming back soon, I personally think He is. I know everybody's thought that for a few hundred years, but I've got all the facts on my side. It ain't ever been like this.
No.
And if He is, He's not coming after a beat up, haggard, just thrown out by the wayside bride. He's not. He's not. When He comes to take His bride, which is us, we're going to be rocking. We're going to be joyful. We're going to be strong. We're going to be ready to be with Him for eternity. And I just know that's what's going to happen. So I wake up every day, honest to goodness, just thrilled to be breathing at this moment in history, because of all the times that we could be alive. We got ringside seats to the big show. This is it, and I love it. I'm grateful.
Well, brother, I'm grateful for you, and it's an honor to be any part of your story, especially as you're getting the word out, and so many people that know you and love you. You talked about getting older, not caring what people think. First off, I encourage people, why be concerned with the opinions of people that don't even know who they are? And then on top of that,
wow,
that's good. People's perceptions are limited. They don't know us. I mean, would you let a blind man drive your car? Then don't let people drive your life who don't even know you or don't even know who they are. But I'll never forget, in Bible college, this professor, very philosophical guy, Mark Moore, very funny too, but he talked about when the fall comes around and the trees change colors, right? Well, they don't really change colors. It's you're seeing what they really are. The chloroform is reduced, and you're seeing the colors that they truly are. They're true colors. And the older we get, the more, good or bad, happy or sad, righteous or evil, or cantankerous or friendly or funny, whatever, the more who we really are comes through. And I like who I'm seeing you. You've always been very funny. I mean, gosh, from the early days, man, and when you had that mane of curly hair and doing those concerts and joking about ceiling fans in the balcony, you were known and are known for your humor, but man, you're still funny. And when talking to you, Gary, I knew that you'd be a hit. I'm looking forward to when you take live call-ins. That's pretty easy to do, and most people don't know that a lot of those shows.
We're ready.
Yeah, oh yeah, and we can talk about that. It's very easy to do. I've done a lot of that.
Let's do it, because we will love that, and I promise you, we're beyond ready.
Well, because both of you guys, you and Kutcher, are funny. That's some really good TV. It's also good radio as well. And people are hungry and they're desperate. They need hope. They want answers, and they're not responding to things they used to. Some would say that for the first time since Constantine, the church was let out of quarantine, back out into the street, back out into the highways and byways and the marketplaces and the casinos and the bars and the Walmarts.
Yeah.
Some would say that when he took them off of the streets and out of the marketplaces and put them into little boxes, and Rome owned the buildings, Rome owned the pastors, and God has done great things with the church. But you've noticed that the strongest churches had good home groups. You notice that the strongest churches had good outreaches, because that's how they were designed to be: uncensored, unbound, uncaged. And you know that. So this has never been a better time for people like you and Kutch and people like me, to speak the truth without fear, to show our true colors, because we have been graced and changed and saved by grace, and to release media and speak to the hearts of people that are watching right now. What would you tell believers right now that perhaps are trying to fight off this fear that the prince of the power of the air is trying to propagate in media? What would you say to them as we take back territory in media, doing what we're doing this very moment? What would you say to them right now?
Well, first of all, you've kind of answered the question with the question. It's in there. Identify the voice. When you feel that fear, when you feel that worry, when you feel that doubt about whether or not this is all going to work out right or not, that's not God's voice. And when you identify that voice and tell that chunk to shut up, leave you alone, you are God's child, and you are rejoicing in that reality regardless. When you do that, you actually have the authority to tell him to go butt a stump. It's yours. Do it. Use it. Use your authority, because he has no place in your life. Don't let him live there. I'm almost to the point to where I'm anxious for him to try, because I love to tell him off. You don't think you can? Talk to Jesus about it. Ask him how you should respond. Ask him how you should respond when you feel that clear voice of darkness trying to bring you down. Wow. He will tell you exactly what I said. Maybe not in exactly the same words. I actually have other words that I can use. No, I'm just saying. No, you've got to take authority. You got to grab that situation by the throat. You do. And then on the other side, you've got to be just as committed to tell people that simple truth. There's nothing more contagious than the truth. People think it's the rumor. No, it's not. It's the truth.
That's
because
so good.
Eventually the truth's going to win. Wow. It just is. That's just the way it's going to happen. So tell people about it. And for every person you tell what I just told you, it'll grow stronger in you. I promise you. It's exponential growth of your own faith when you tell people about your faith. It just feeds you. So in a selfish sense, you're an idiot to not do it, because it builds you up. It's just an amazing process that God has put in place to get his message out. So be a part of that. And when you're convinced, again, at your core, when you're convinced that you are in the middle of that stream, man, you're just gonna float along. It's gonna feel almost effortless. It's an amazing thing how, that whole my yoke is easy, my burden is light thing. We all grew up with that. It's taken me 60 years to figure out that that's actually true, and that you actually can trust him and just float along in his plan. It doesn't give you license to be lazy, but dang it gives you license to free up your mind from trying to figure it all out. You can't figure it out anyway. Most of my plans have failed, most of them. With whatever success I've had or lost, most of my plans were wrong. Somewhere in there was a piece that he wanted. And he shoved me into a corner to focus on that piece. That succeeded. And so the more you learn to listen to that voice that's trying to nudge you toward that piece of the truth that's living inside you, every day turns into an adventure. What am I going to do now? What am I going to do next? Yesterday for me, totally trivial thing, completely tiny thing, full disclosure, my family is by Churchill. we we go we go to Church of the City in Franklin on Sunday mornings, and if you need an online church, you're not going to find one better than that. Amazing music, amazing pastor, wow. Amazing community. You should do that. And then in the afternoon, at 3:00 out in Madison, I drive about 30 miles one direction to go to Regeneration Nashville. You may have heard of Kent Christmas. I don't use the word loosely. In fact, I rarely use it at all. I'm a skeptic. When somebody tells me God told me to tell you, right. I usually back up and go, yeah, he'll tell me. But honest to goodness, Kent Christmas is the strongest prophetic voice that I'm aware of. So we go out there. I went out by myself yesterday. I was late. Traffic was rough. I got there. I was anxious to get in the place. I was halfway through the parking lot to get in. And I thought, I left my reading glasses in the car. And I was like, well, dang it. And I turned around and walked back to my car. And as I'm walking back, I saw this lady, this black lady, full disclosure, large black lady, struggling to get a stroller out of the back of her SUV. As she pulled it out, several other things fell out. And I'm like, oh man, she's up to her eyeballs. She's clearly by herself. Yeah. It was a double stroller. And my car was just like 3 cars from hers. I got my stuff and I started back toward the church, and that voice said, no, don't do that. And I turned around and just said, do you need some help? And at first she said no. And then she just stopped a minute. She said, yeah, I do. And I just stopped for a couple of minutes and helped her get this precious, incredibly angelic little black baby out of the car seat. Oh. And I put her in the stroller. And this is not to glorify me. This is to glorify that sweet voice. All I did was help her. Just help her get that. And I turn and I start walking into the church, and God just clears a bell. No church you go into today is going to give you what just happened. None of them. None of them. Today was about that. That was the moment. And those things happen all the time. Yes. If you just listen. And it's such a great life to be walking this adventure, because it is. It pops up out of nowhere. You go, oh, okay, that was it. And it just makes every day really, really fun, just to pay attention and stay engaged.
Well, brother, Jesus said that you'll know my disciples by their love for one another, and loving people, coming together, man, bringing it all, that beautiful tapestry. I grew up in the mix, the brothers, the Chicanos, the Asians. Mm-hmm. We celebrated each other. We weren't upset about
De Leon,
everything.
Texas, brother.
Yeah. But you know what, though?
60% Hispanic.
Well, you know what? We're taking back that territory. I'm producing one of my shows, Urban Amarillo, and we're working with different communities and coming together and showing people what that looks like. Gone are the days where you have your 3 points of prayer, a poem, and a joke, and we should do this, and we should. You know what? The world responds to action, love in action.
Yep.
And you know what? Jesus in you, as you, igniting the greatness in each other, loving each other, celebrating each other for such a time as this, because our adversary wants to kill, steal, and destroy, wants to divide, wants to conquer. And you know what? People are just starting to be fed up with it. And they're saying, forget this. We're not going to believe. We're not going to believe the lies. We're not going to believe the propaganda. Nope. We know the plan to depopulate the world. We know the plan to kill, steal, and destroy, to divide and conquer, to take away personal freedoms, personal ownership, to destroy small business. I mean, Agenda 21 is very, very clear. You can read it for yourself on Google. The project published by the FBI about the Muslim Brotherhood is very clear. You can see the Communist Manifesto. It's very clear. You can see it very clearly being played out, because the forces of evil, for some reason, believe that if they tell you ahead of time in movies and you don't do anything or say anything about it, then they're justified in doing it. That's the old order of things. to
Yep.
remake a nation after it's destroyed first. And here we are, folks. It's not a Democrat Republican thing. It's a good versus evil thing. And I'm so happy, Gary,
It is.
that you are on the side of light and that you speak your mind. You say what you mean what you say. You're a man's man. Beautiful family. You live out your lyrics. And I am proud to call you a friend. I can't wait to see what you do next. And I know that people need you in your area too on local television. I pray that happens pretty quickly, because people help people who help people, and you are helping people in everything that you do. I'm so happy that you've been with me today on Word on the Street.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate the time.
Well, always. We'll do it again. I can't wait to hear your new music. And folks, you stay tuned. The best is yet to come from the music and the ministry and the broadcasting voice of Gary Chapman. Thank you again, Gary.
TurbulentTruth.com. We'll be up soon. Come see us.
There you go. We'll see you next time, folks. Word on the Street.
See.
Bob, usually your shots and your pieces are ground level or high up of the rig. This is very creative. You're inside the what?
I'm actually on the monkey boards with the derrick hand, and
Wow.
we're sitting there, and he's actually stabbing pipe and pulling it across and being able to do what he does. And I'm up there, and I'm seeing the beautiful sunset and all the different things that are going on. And this is actually an escape hatch. So if the rig ever caught on fire, they open that sucker up and they grab a hold of the little wire there, and there's like a way to hang on to that, and
They get out of there.
They slide right on out.
Matter of life and death.
It's kind of intense. But as I was talking to, I don't remember if I was talking to this particular derrick guy, but I was talking to one of them, and I was telling him about the spider that was right up in here. And it was so funny because you get around these guys that are so big and tough, and you know how they are.
They don't like the spiders?
He's like, I would have burned up. I'd have just stayed there. There's no way I'm going through that.
Well, this is a scene that a lot of hard-working oil field people are familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Such beauty, and yet, at the same time, a little bit of danger.
Yeah, they put a lot to be able to make a living for their families. They do a lot
Sure
to
do. And I know that the
at
oil
risk.
field appreciates this type of art, honoring them and capturing moments. You know, it's a way of life. It's a legacy.
It sure is. There's some neat people out there.